So they're gonna fork Bitcoin. I hope so. I hope so. Get rid of inscriptions. Get rid of op return. I like the 83 bytes because it's important to be able to send a hash. Maybe just 40 bytes. Because it's important to have a hash just to be able to prove other documents or store texts. I think that's fine. That's actually preferred. But let's do it. Let's get rid of core. Not only get rid of core, but fork. Do a soft fork. It's ridiculous. They're not getting rid of inscriptions. They need to go. I'm all for it, guys. Let me know in the description what you think. But let me tell you why. Because you know what? Their core has gone too far. Not only do we need to stop them now, but we need to actually go back in time and fix their previous mess ups. I didn't know you could get rid of the inscriptions hack that core refuses to do. But if we're going to do that, that's even better. That's so efficient. That's stopping the new F up that they did, increasing the op return to 100,000 bytes from 83. Okay. So, and nodes have to store that data. Here's the problem with storing JPEGs and arbitrary non-financial data. Everybody has to store it. Everybody has to store the data that the miners process. You know, that's okay for financial transactions. That's the only way to have a decentralized ledger. But we don't need to have decentralized proof of these JPEGs. And it's kind of like it's like a slur to say JPEGs because there could be a better use case for it. But honestly, if you're going to do that, go to another chain. Why does it have to be on Bitcoin? Okay? First of all, these people running JPEGs don't care about decentralization anyways. So it's so inefficient to be using decentralization for people who don't even value it. If you want a picture to be on a blockchain, put it on another blockchain. That's proof of stake that doesn't care about this stuff. There's no value that I can see in having inscriptions or graffiti to be decentralized. See, the way it works for the layman is, how do you prove that this transaction is real and not just what one node is saying, one guy running Bitcoin software, right? It's like, how do we know this is a real transaction? Well, because every other node, every other user running the software, it's on theirs as well. And they say you can actually chop off just the headers and footers and have that, a pruned node. Yes, you can have that and save a lot of block space. So you can have the ledger of every block from the history of Bitcoin. And that space is going up and your computer has to run all this, but you can have a pruned version of that. Yes, but you can't be helping other nodes start up. If you're a full node, you can help new nodes start up. Think of it as you download an MP3 off of Napster or Kazaa, LimeWire, and then you delete the MP3. Well, now you're not sharing it and you're not helping others download it from you. So you're not really helping the network. Now, I have no problem, and nobody has a problem with running Bitcoin when you are running the transactions, actual financial transactions, because that's what you want to use it for too. You choose to run the node, you're strengthening the network, and part of that is you could be able to run a Raspberry Pi, like a cheap thing, and now you can't. Because, why? Because there's so much more arbitrary data in the chain. We should not be helping sponsor these people, okay? These people graffitiing the network. I know I'm being redundant, folks. I'm just telling you how I'm feeling. I'm just going on a rant here. So, we're going to get rid of op return. I'm all for the soft fork. no different than the hard fork wars of 2017, all over again. There's two opinions. Truth is a straight line. There is one truth. And there's people's opinions on the matter. Yeah, there's nuances, but reality is a straight line. Okay? There's people who think the Buccaneers are better than the Cowboys or whatever. But you know what settles it? The actual game, the score, the results. So we need to do this. We need to soft fork and let people choose. Do they want to run inscriptions? Well, obviously they don't. Or they want to get rid of inscriptions as well as the op return increase. So I'm going to run a knots node. I'm all for it, guys. Not only run the node, but actually do a soft fork. We need to really do that. There is so much we need to do to push core back even further. Core is very similar to the big blockers. Pro larger data. And again, they are the drunks behind the wheel and you're the passenger, and they're saying, trust me, I drive better when I'm drunk. That's what they say. And they're confident. And the problem is confidence can be manipulated, can be used against you. Your confidence can be used against you. An example I thought of earlier today, just not even having to do with this. Alcohol, bars, women dancing like, woo, yeah, they're having fun with their girls. Okay. There's something to be said about a celebration, if it's a wedding, whatever. But in my view, that confidence, they're not actually helping themselves. They're not being productive. They're not doing anything good for themselves. They're actually celebrating. Okay, here's what going out partying is. You're celebrating how much you can destroy of yourself. I can be out late, 2 a.m. They can probably sleep around. They can do drugs, Molly. They can drink alcohol, have a bad night's sleep, eat pizza right afterwards at 2 a.m. They are displaying how destructive they can be without seeing results of that destructive behavior. That's what going out and partying is. It's a celebration. And what is a celebration? The whole point of celebration is to kind of destroy and let waste happen. It's to let waste happen, but you don't care because you're celebrating something bigger than that. That's what a wedding is. A wedding costs $40,000. That's wasteful, but they're happy about it because something bigger that's good is happening. They're getting married, but they could get married for free. $50 at the courthouse. That's what confidence can do. And that's what core has. Confidence, aka arrogance. I know it's getting darker and you can't see me, but just think about what I said, people. If you've gone this far, maybe you're willing to go a little further. Core does not have the best intentions. Even if they're right, which they're wrong, hold off. Hold off on core 30. We don't have consensus. Well, they don't care. Well, you know what? They need to be punished. I know that sounds childish, but they need to be punished. At the very least, you're going to take their car keys away by running knots and do a soft fork and get rid of the inscriptions. Do the things that they accidentally forgot to fix. Obviously, they did it on purpose. They don't care. If someone fixed inscriptions in core in version 31, core would go back and say, oh God, someone hacked the system and fixed our F up. And they would unfix it in 32. So, see, core is sort of like the Biden administration. They're like, there's these issues, inscriptions, we're not going to stop the hack. We don't really care. Oh, there's border, people coming across the border at 10,000, 15,000 every day. Not a big deal. Who cares? And then, you could say, oh, they just don't really care. They're lazy. Okay. Well, then when Trump comes up, he seals the border. He starts getting rid of the people that Biden put in there. Now those same people have a problem suddenly. So it proves they were okay with the problem. It's kind of like if there's a fire in your house and you're telling everybody, do something. No one's doing anything. And then you actually I don't know, hijack a fire truck, because even the firemen are not doing anything. You hijack a fire truck and start fixing the fire by putting water on it. Now they're suddenly mad at you and they're going to charge you for hijacking, stealing a fire truck. Yes, but let's say it was the Capitol building that was on fire. So you're doing the good, and the person at first that was doing nothing about the problem, suddenly you fix it and now they are mad about it. That is what's happening. So I'm officially dark. Talk to you guys later. Satoshi bless ya.